Which master's programs to do if you want to get into investment banking in London? Woo! Okay, firstly, I just want to say thank you for everyone who's been supporting me, trying to carry on this journey. Like I said, every Wednesday we do one of these career videos, supplemented with every 2 weeks we have the Dime Drop podcast, and also on Sundays, well, I've dropped off a little bit, vlogs on Sundays. But they're like not career based, I'll be real. Although I do drop just gems, I feel anyway, but that's just me being deluded. So yeah, please subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. Tell me what you want to see, because at the end of the day, this is all for you guys. It's trying to help you in as many different ways as I can. But yeah, let's get straight into this. So my last video was focused on undergrad stuff. I've had obviously a lot of people talk to me about what undergrad unis to go to, what degrees to go to, and things like that for investment banking. This is switching up onto masters. So I've had this question a lot as well. So I think the first place to start is, do I need to do a masters? Okay, so I've had a lot of people ask me, oh, I'm at a non-target, planning on doing a masters here. Is this going to be good enough? And things like that. But then I've also had people who are literally at target saying, yeah, doing at LSE, they're going to want to do LSE this and then do a master's at LSE this. Is this good enough? Firstly, if you're at a target for an undergrad, I personally believe you don't need to do a master's. Unless someone was oh, but it'll help me get into the cycle for internships and things like that, prolong my sort of academia so I can apply for them. If you've not been able to land a role in whatever you want to go into from a target university, in an investment bank, let's say, then in my eyes, there's something wrong with your application or your interview style, or just something about the actual process of you getting a job rather than your academia. So for instance, if you're at, let's say, an LSE and you're doing econ or you're doing management, whatever the hell you're doing at LSE, right? And you're planning on doing a master's after that, I just don't see the value added. I'll be completely honest with you. Unless you just got a load of money. Because I think the thing is that people don't realize some people might. These are a lot of money and it doesn't guarantee you anything. Unless you have the peas, you have the bread to spend on it and not really care about it that much, then okay, go do it. But yeah, realistically, I just don't see the added value if you're at a target already for an undergrad and then doing a target. I just don't get it, to be honest with you. So my advice there would be no point, unless you got bread. Secondly, I think there is this notion as to people talking about helping them raise their grade or something. For instance, if they're in their undergrad, or will it help basically cover that up? Not really, no. It will definitely help you. And the other thing, just going on to the back of that, is that a lot of these master's programs, they're not going to accept anyone. A lot of them, you can't pay your way onto them, the ones that are worthwhile doing in my eyes. For instance, I went to Cass and did a master's. I'll be real, I feel like I paid my way onto that because I submitted my personal statement and application, and within 2 hours I got accepted. I feel like they didn't even read my application. They just thought, oh, this guy's willing to pay, let's just get him on. That's how I felt. Obviously, I may be wrong in saying that. Yeah, that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, so my advice would be to say that your grades and your university do matter if you're trying to go to a target to do your master's at. Now, if you get a first from a Russell Group university, that may be enough to get you onto one of the top ones, but it may not. It might not get you onto an LSE or something, or an Oxbridge. It might get you onto a slightly lower one. But yeah, reputation of uni and grade does come into your sort of selection criteria for your masters. As an example, I did an undergrad masters in mathematics from Newcastle University, which is a Russell Group. I got strong 2-1. I was 1% off. I was 1.5% off first, and I got rejected when I applied to LSE Financial Maths Masters. I got rejected from there, and I was like, wow. I then applied to Cass, and I got in like I said, within 2 hours, which is crazy to me. I feel literally it could have been anyone. I'll be real. Basically, if you had bread, you were okay on that course. And weirdly, I felt like that was reflected in the people that I studied with. There were some really, really good people, but then there were some people who are just how the hell have you made it onto here? It probably says more about the uni. But yeah, no, you can't really buy your way onto that, the ones that are worthwhile. I'll be completely honest with you. So that's something worth noting. And then, so in terms of like, what is the point of doing it, and is it worthwhile? I think if you're at like a semi-target maybe, and you've not been able to land anything, and you've got good grades and stuff, and you have the money in order to spend on a target masters, then why not do it? If you're at a non-target and you manage to have the opportunity to do it, then do it. Yeah, like the same sort of scenario, but you're just at a non-target, then do it. If you're at a target, if you've got the money, then why not? But I just don't see the added value if you're at a target, I'll be completely honest with you. And then, like I said, you got to caveat it with sort of which universities you're going to apply to as well. So now that brings me on to the second bit of this. Which are the target universities for master's programs for London IB? So firstly, London Business School, right? London Business School only does master's programs. It is globally renowned for the programs it does in masters. So it's going to help you if you want to break into America, let's say, and stuff. It is going to have that recognition. So yeah, like London Business School like has this really good reputation. It's also super competitive to get in. So like I've seen people who just say, yeah, I'm gonna go here and then go to LBS. I was like, bro, do you know how hard it is to get into LBS? Because like a lot of European students look to do that as well. So you'll be competing against a fuckload of people, I'll be real. So make sure like if you are gonna do it, yeah, you do it for the right reasons, and it is fucking expensive. Like I'll give you an example. I'm literally just looking now, there's masters in financial analysis, right? In person, 12 to 16 months, basically a year, because that's how long they are. In person, 50 grand for the year. Bare bees. And it's not going to guarantee you anything, but it'll put you in a very good position to get a job afterwards. So yeah, like super hard to get onto, and then you have to stump up the P's as well. But that is one, LBS is very good. It is seen as a target for masters for sure for IB in London. The next one I want to talk about is Oxford University. So it's the, I don't know how you say it, is it SED Business School? So SED Business School at Oxford Uni is really good. So just give you an example, if you go to SED Business School, you want to do MSc in financial economics, that's 55 bags for 1 year. So yeah, it's pretty mental. Basically they're similar for like essentially like international students coming to the UK. It's them kind of prices. This is how much they have to pay. It's basically the same. So yeah, it's a lot of money that you're essentially gambling, especially if you don't have that kind of money. And look, if you're lucky enough to have it, then I get it. But not everyone is in that position. To put into context, when I did mine was like 30 grand, I think, at Base Business School, and that was like 8 years ago or something ridiculous. So even that's probably gone up now. The next one is Judge Business School at University of Cambridge. Again, really respectable for IB especially. They have like an MPhil course there, which I know it bangs. That's a really good course. Again, it's going to set you back a lot of money. So I think that you have to really want to do this and have the money again. And then the last one I want to discuss is LSE. So LSE, yeah, they have, like I said, I applied to LSE and got rejected. It's hard to get into LSE, but again, it is one of the targets for postgrad masters to get into London IB. They're basically the four main ones. So you've got LBS, Cambridge, Oxford, and LSE. That's kind of it for postgrad. After that, the other ones they're good for specific things. So your semi-targets are like your Imperial, your Warwick, and UCL. So that's what I like. I think some people when they're ranking their targets for undergrad, they rank LSE and Oxbridge as higher than Warwick, UCL, and Imperial, and it's probably because of the postgrad stuff. But yeah, they're basically your semi-targets in terms of postgrad. And just looking at the semi-targets, I think it's really important to see what they're actually good for. So Imperial's got a reputation where it's actually good for quant stuff, for instance. So if you're looking to go into S&T, sales and trading stuff, or literally just a bit go into quants, quants are obviously on the rise. You've got Jane Street Capital and Citadel and things. I know someone who works at Citadel and he's making a lot of money. But yeah, like if you want to do anything like quant based or anything, Imperial is actually a really good university to go to do a master's in. Warwick, so people have asked me about doing a master's at Warwick. Warwick MSc Finance is really good. Like I said, it is a semi-target, not a target. But like I said, the target like insane. But yeah, if you can go to like Warwick Business School, like MSc in finance that is a very good course for sure. And then again, on the similar sort of vein, UCL, the brand is really good. It has all the connections, the alumni and stuff like that. So they have a lot of finance programs as well. So if you want to take that route, again, do that. And that's kind of it for semi-targets within the UK for London IB. It is a more select group. I think it's more so because obviously there's a lot less people that actually do master's programs just because of the cost of them. So yeah, the banks will be handpicking more so from those for sure. And then you do have, looking at sort of less, like not semi-targets, but still good business schools. Like you have ones that would typically be in your semi-targets for undergrads. So you've got like Nottingham, you've got your Bristols, you've got your Edinburghs, yeah, your Bath and Manchester, and Uni of Manchester also is pretty decent for that. So there are a few like good business schools that won't necessarily be amazing for you, but say if you went to like a non-target and you can only get into one of those, but you have the money, maybe that might help you a little bit. But I think that the balance is like, if I spend this money, is it going to increase my chance? How much is it going to increase my chances by? I think that's the question to ask, like the risk reward essentially. The risk obviously going to like the ones I've just mentioned in terms of like your Nottinghams, Edinburghs, whatnot, you've got less chance of guaranteeing you never guarantee, but less chance of getting a job from them than you have from your semi-targets, and again from your semi-targets to your targets, right? So again, it just comes down to the money. Personally, I personally think it's worth trying to do the audit route that I did, because I did a master's and I got one interview from that within IB and I flopped it. And I don't know how much it actually helped me in terms of getting my internal move at Deloitte and then getting into IB. Maybe it did a little bit, but I know people who've literally done my path without having a master's in corporate finance. So from my perspective, I would probably advise people to go down the audit route and then try and do what I did that way, rather than doing a master's, unless again, like I said, you have the money to do so. One thing I wanted to touch upon was international students. So when I did my master's at Cass, we had over 90% of people were international on my course. And because Cass/Bays is very well renowned globally, but not in the UK, weirdly. I don't get it. Anyway, so we had a lot of like people that were doing like dual masters and stuff, especially from Bocconi. So Bocconi is a fantastic school that does masters programs and stuff. So people were doing a dual masters program as part of Bocconi. So they did 1 year in Bocconi, 1 year here at Cass or Bays. And all of them people, I think, landed very good jobs afterwards. There was one person who wanted to go into consulting. She went to BCG. There was one person who went to Macquarie, and then after working at Macquarie for a year, went to Goldman's. And so like it is a well-trodden path, like for international students to come here and do like some sort of dual masters and stuff. One thing I just want to touch upon as well is I've had a few international students, like European students, ask me about European schools, and I'm going to do a separate video on European schools. But one thing I want to just say was, a lot of people who I know who went to European schools for undergrad, they ended up supplementing that by doing a master's at like an LSE or like one of these targets that I mentioned, and then that helped them then get into a job in London IB. So that is a path that a lot of people do if they want to break into London IB, because some unis in Europe are good for like other European cities. But London IB, I feel like, is a bit of a different beast, and yeah, like it's just super competitive. I'll be honest with you, and that's what makes these masters programs a lot more competitive as well. So not only you have to have the money, you're competing against a fuckload of different people. But yeah, like these masters, look, it sounds good and looks good, and I'll be honest, like my masters was actually useful in terms of the things I learnt on it. And again, kind of like the undergrad stuff, it gives you opportunity to network with the alumni, with the finance societies and things like that. And that's really the key. I didn't do that enough because I actually was working full-time alongside studying full-time. So I literally just had no time to do that side of it. But that can really be a key factor to helping you land a job. I know people that were part of societies. One of my mates, he was part of a Lebanese society. This is mental, yeah? So I think they got P's off the tuition just for being Lebanese. I don't know how true this is, right? This is what I got told. And then what they did then, they also like gave you a mentor that was Lebanese within finance in the city. So my friend had a mentor, and that mentor would then set them up with other Lebanese people at different firms. So my friend was literally going having meetings with, like, every couple of weeks he'd have a meeting with like a director at like this bank, that bank, this bank. So he's building a network like that, and he's very good at networking himself. And to give you a little bit of context on how it worked, we both applied to Nomura. Now, looking at both our CVs, I would say I've got a better CV than him, just because I went to a better uni than him. I've got a master in maths already. We're both doing master in corporate finance. I've got more relevant work experience, and well, I've got more work experience. But he had this like investment banking thing that he like paid for, I think. But anyway, regardless of that, we both got rejected. Literally not even like getting an interview. Like before the assessment center stage, applications were rejected. My guy then got in contact straight away with the director he'd met a few weeks ago. That guy then reinstated his application. I think my mate never actually did an assessment center. He just had a final interview, managed to get onto the internship, then converted that internship into a grad program where he started straight away because he wasn't going back, obviously. So he did like a summer internship, then straight away flipped into a grad program and stayed there for like a year and a bit, and then moved on to PE. So like networking can be massive. I'm not gonna lie, I was jealous because I was just like, how the fuck's he done that? And he saved P's on the tuition. But yeah, I'm not bitter. No, I'm actually not. I'm actually, look, everyone's got their own path and stuff, and he's doing really well now. But yeah, I just wanted to explain that, just to give you a bit of flavour in terms of how important it can be. And masters can provide that, but undergrads can provide that as well. So you should be doing this. I've done a separate video on this, on things that you should be doing as part of your undergrad studies in order to get these opportunities. But masters, like I said, it just gives you another opportunity to do that. I just want to ensure that everyone is really understanding the risk and reward side of this. It's not going to guarantee you anything. It's why when I do my ratings on TikTok, I never give anything. I don't even think I've given a 9 out of 10 yet, but I'll never give anything a 10 out of 10. Nothing's going to guarantee you a job in IB. Even if you go to LBS, at the end of the day, you're still going to have to do interviews. You're still going to have to go through that process. And if you're just not good at that stuff, then you're not going to get a job. It doesn't really matter which, even if you've gone to the best schools in the world and got the best grades. So yeah, I think we'll end it there. If there's any questions, please drop them below in the comments. And yeah, please subscribe, please share with anyone who you think this might be useful for. Please like, all that good stuff, because we're trying to hit 1,000 subs on here as soon as I can. I really just want this to be one of the things that I do, to be honest with you. So if I start making money from it, then that'll be better, because that means I'll be able to actually do it more. But yeah, please follow up everywhere. Like I said, please also with the Dime Drop podcast, that is available on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts and everything like that. So go check it out on there. Please give it a star rating, 5-star rating, because it really helps with the algorithm. And yeah, please follow up my TikTok and all my links in the bio as well. But yeah, thank you so much again for watching, and see you next time. Peace!